Hello everyone, welcome back to the Crash F1 YouTube channel. And today's a bit of a different video. I'm just going to give my thoughts on the Michael Schumacher documentary that was released yesterday on Netflix, and just talk about it and get some of your opinions as well in the comments. What did you think of it? Personally, I thought it was good. It was something that, going into this here, I don't really have a lot. We don't have a lot of documentaries about F1, to judge off. We have Senna, which is, a real biopic. It's dramatized. It's really well put together. But this one was slightly different. It was more of just a nice sort of introduction to Michael Schumacher if you weren't a fan of F1. It was something very good to watch as an F1 fan. It brought back some good memories and also gave a little insight into Michael's personal life as well. Things that, personally, myself, I didn't know really about Michael. I think that growing up, you don't really know much about these people because it's a different age. Social media wasn't around then in the 90s and certainly into the early 2000s, and it wasn't as popular and how it is used now to really get to understand the drivers. And I think that what really struck home to me about Michael Schumacher is he's a completely different person off track than what he was on it. A fierce competitor on it, didn't give any inches at all to people. Overstepped the mark a few times, and it was good to see what he was like off track. He very much cared about his family. He just loved to do activities with his family. He loved to party. Just a really genuine person. And you've got other drivers in it. David Coulthard talking about it, saying Michael was completely different when he was out of the car, sharing, having a few drinks after races and stuff was just completely normal, and it was really relaxed with Michael. And I think that it was refreshing to see. It wasn't like Senna in terms of, if you know what I mean, when you've watched Senna, it kind of changed perspectives. It painted Alain Prost to be the absolute villain in this, and Senna to be the hero as such. But when you look at it in real life, they were both as bad as each other. And this was not all about putting a spin on what happened. You've got Damon Hill and the Jack Villeneuve incidents with Michael, and it wasn't about putting a spin on Schumacher's perspective. It was just telling it as it is, and I think that was quite nice, and it kind of left the audience watching to make their own minds up about it. And I think that from what we really learned about Michael is that in F1 he was a fierce competitor, but the atmosphere that he created, especially when he went to Ferrari, and what we learned about Michael, especially when he went to Ferrari, was building that team mentality. Developing the car when there was unlimited testing hours, driving into the dark, almost. The footage of that was amazing. I'd never seen that before, and even integrating the cooks and the chefs to be a part of the team to create that atmosphere, like we're untouchable, we're the benchmark in F1. And I think that goes on unseen. What Schumacher built at Ferrari along with Ross Brawn, John Todd, it felt like an unstoppable force for those 5 years that they dominated from 2000 to 2004. And it's something that we can kind of see now with Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, Toto Wolff. They've built that sort of unstoppable force mentality of just, we're the team to beat. No one's going to get us. I know in recent years it's came a bit closer for Mercedes, but I think that when you look at the real sad part for me watching that was at the end. The last 20 minutes were about the reality of what Michael, the situation he's facing now, and the health conditions. It's been very, very quiet for those 8 years, and the way that Mick and his daughter and Michael's wife were talking about the situation he's in now. It's a different Michael we have, but he still shows his strength each day. And Mick saying he just wishes he could talk to his dad about motorsport because they speak the same language now. Obviously, with Mick racing in F1, and he said he would trade anything in the world to do that. It really got to me, thinking about, Michael really isn't with this anymore in the sense that he can communicate, and that was kind of the first revealing factor of Michael's condition without saying it. We have fans, millions around the world, have wondered what he's like, and it's really sad to know that he's still with us, but he's not in a real state to communicate that. And I think that was the thing that hit home for me. You know, Michael's still here. His legacy will always live on, but it's really sad that Mick can't speak to his dad about just advice for motor racing, and just speaking to his dad in general, just to have that figure in his life present now when he really could need it. But it was quite sad. It's different to Senna, as we know what happens in the end, but it's equally as sad because we don't really know what Michael's like, and we kind of got that first insight from the family of his condition, and it's just heartbreaking. So it is, but for what Michael Schumacher done for F1 in the 90s and early 2000s is just sensational. So I really enjoyed it, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you enjoy the documentary? Just let us know. We'll have a discussion on social media and in the comments below. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to Crash F1 for more content. And until next time, guys, I will see you then.